let's have a conversation, family. Let's talk about commitment. Okay, committing to yourself, self commitment. So, first of all, I would love for y'all to check out my JTD Wellness Instagram page because every week we hold an intention. All right, so this conversation is going to be based on the subject we were focusing on, the intention we held last week, and that is committing to self. Okay. So, actually, my JTD Wellness Instagram page is more of me expressing through written form, right? So that's where the writer me comes out to play. Okay. So you guys can check that out. And every week we hold an intention. And that's really where the Self Academy, the School of Self, is being birthed in real time, right? That's really where I teach, I express through writing. Let's talk about commitment. All right, committing to yourself. First of all, and actually, I'll tell you something about me. I'll share this. My Self Academy is birthed from my expansion, my journey with self, my self evolution, right? So I have a lot of downloads and just moments where I transcend, and I'm just like, wait, like, how didn't we learn this? How don't we know this? How was this not the first thing we learned? You know what I mean? So there's a lot of those moments, and that's where I was like, you know what? Self Academy. So that's where the School of Self is, and that's where you really go on this journey with yourself and this self evolution journey, right? Anyway, so family, commitment to self, committing to yourself. First of all, this is one of those moments where I'm like, how did we not learn this? How do we not learn that the first and the most important relationship you'll ever have in this life is the relationship you have with yourself? I mean, how? How were we not taught this? Because truly everything is expressed from your relationship with yourself. You know what I mean? Like everything's a relationship. Everything is based on a relationship, emotions, right? And perception. So thoughts, so it's like whether it's your relationship with money, your relationship with your phone, your relationship with your car, relationship with your job, your relationship with your body, with food is based on relationship. It's a relation, right? So everything is expressed through you, number one. So that's why commitment to self is everything. Of course, you must commit to the most important relationship, and that is your relationship with yourself. Of course, so that's number one. That was the aha moment for me. Like, hello. And second of all, you can committing to yourself is the first real commitment. Like you can only learn commitment through yourself. You will really understand and honor what commitment really means once you go on that journey with yourself. Hello. I mean, do you get what I mean? Like, and when you go on this journey with yourself and you get to understand yourself, learn yourself and see who you are, see who you're being, because committing to yourself is actually really holding up a mirror to yourself. You know what I mean? Like it's holding up a mirror and it's like, okay, do you like what you see? Are you being a woman of your word? That's number two, right? Like, it's a mirror. Who are you being? Are you being who you say you are? You know what I mean? Are you honoring yourself? Are you living in self honor? Are you living in self respect? Because that's what commitment is. And another thing that came up was we have learned commitment outside of ourselves. Commitment has been an external experience, right? And that's why, um, that's what Self Academy reintroduces you to, like Self Academy reintroduces you to yourself. You come home to yourself, right? You understand that life is really about how you internalize life, not how you externalize life. And we've been conditioned to learn life through externalizing, exuding your power, your energy, not harnessing and preserving, So that's the shift. And when you live outside of yourself, you are living on the mental plane in survival, right? And then when you shift to focus on your home, your inner world, your inner home, you you're internalizing life. You're going on this journey with self. You come home to yourself, your true self. You're being reintroduced to yourself, not the self that you learned through outside perception, not the identity you created to survive, because we're domesticated animals, right? So Self Academy is that shift. It's that recoding, that death experience, releasing the survival mode identity you carried throughout this life. You know what I mean? So it's a shift of externalizing life to internalizing life. So we have we have learned and experienced commitment through committing to another, to an external thing, a person, a job. You know what I mean? And you give out loyalty. So my point with that is that's why we experience so much heartbreak and being let down so much in life, because we haven't learned commitment through ourselves. Because once you learn commitment through yourself, you understand that commitment is a very honorable thing, right? And what you're expecting of another, because commitment is loyalty. You know what I mean? You're expecting loyalty. You're expecting someone to show up. You're expecting consistency. You're expecting discipline. So when you go on this commitment with yourself, with your journey with yourself, and you get to see yourself and see who you are to yourself, and then you realize, like, oh my goodness, like, I'm expecting so much of another and I'm not even giving myself 50%. It's a mirror, so a mirror is held up to you, and it's like, it's a standard. And standards are not such an external thing. Even when they say, like, raise your standards, set your boundaries, we really think, well, we're conditioned to really believe life is external. Like, well, my standards are high now. Are you living up to who you say you are? Are you showing up as that to yourself? Are you honoring yourself? Are you living in self-honor? Commitment is love, is the highest expression of love, because love is an action, So every morning, every day, every moment, it's about recommitting. It's an action. It's showing up. So if you're expecting of another, do you truly love yourself? Because love is an action, baby. Are you a woman of your word? Are you a man of your word? So for me, it's just that shift, right? It's that shift of, who are you being to yourself? Committing to yourself is committing to the most important relationship you will ever have in this lifetime. And that's the one you have with yourself, because everything's expressed through self, right? So that's the thing. And it's like, oh my word. Like, and also another thing that came up for me is, like, how easy it is for us to commit to someone else or something else, but how easy it is to not commit to ourselves and not even show up for ourselves. How easy it is for us to let ourselves down. And on some level, you really realize that, gosh, unconsciously, we are really seeking validation, man. We're seeking for approval. We're really performing. We're proving. We're trying to earn all this love, all this assurance, all this validation outside of ourselves. And that's what Self Academy, that's the shift Self Academy brings into one's life. It's a new way of living, a new way of being, of like, no, life is not meant to be expressed externally. It's internally. Everything that you do to it, like the way you love your best friend, the way you love your partner, that's how we learned life backwards. You know what I mean? We're exuding so much of our power when really everything that we pour into ourselves, when you focus on self-focus, everything when you focus on your relationship with yourself and learn yourself and accept yourself and trust yourself and go on this journey with self, everything is expressed through you. Everything is a mirror of where you are with yourself. Do you understand what I mean? So committing to yourself is the first thing we should have ever learned. That's the school of self, baby. That's the coming home to yourself. and everything radiates through you, right? So how you show up for you, who you are to you, who you're being to you, the way you love your partner, the way you love your child, the way you show up for the people that you love. That's the relationship you should have with yourself. And that's why I say we learned life backwards. That's the only way you can fill your cup, right? So that's self-commitment. Go on this journey with yourself. Get to know yourself, so yeah, that's